A new day has dawned in Elwyn Forest. Your name is Bad Reactor. You've lived in Elwyn Forest your whole life. But today's a special day. The Alliance has recruited you to help in the war effort against the Horde. You've made your way to Northshire Valley, where in the center sits a giant cathedral, complete with stonework, stained glass windows, and ornate carvings throughout the architecture. On the stairs and in front, you see Marshal McBride, who you assume is the leader of the operation here in the valley. You talk to him. So, you're the new recruit from Stormwind, eh? I'm Marshal McBride, commander of this garrison. Glad to have you on board. McBride looks through some papers. Bad Reactor. It is Bad Reactor, right? You've arrived just in time. The Blackrock Orcs have managed to sneak into Northshire through a break in the mountain. My soldiers are doing the best they can to push them back, but I fear they will be overwhelmed soon. Head northwest into the forest and kill the attacking Blackrock wargs. Help my soldiers. You accept his quest and venture off to the left of the cathedral, passing some carts with vendors. In the distance you spy the wargs. You pull out your trusty hammer and get to work. With a few quick hits of your hammer, the first warg falls. You collect a rabbit's foot from it. Apparently it's had dinner recently. You make your way to another one off in the distance. It's a battle, but you manage to knock out the second one with relative ease. Another rabbit's foot. You've seen a few rabbits hopping around, so you know what the wargs are eating. Pretty steady diet of rabbit. Mixed in with the wargs, you happen to see a few spies. And though you haven't been instructed to take care of them, it couldn't hurt. The green-skinned orc goes down with relative ease. He drops some money. That could come in handy. You take out another warg, bashing it across the face with your hammer. Occasionally throwing some holy energy at it. After all, it couldn't hurt. Well, it couldn't hurt you. It definitely hurt the warg. You find some fur on it. Not sure what that'll do, but maybe someone will want it. Make your way to another warg and get hammering. More fur, nothing of interest. You stop and take a moment to look at all the surroundings around you. The entire valley is enclosed by hills, so you're not quite sure where the orcs came down. Maybe along the river, past the waterfall. Off in the distance, as you're slaying the orcs, you see an old abandoned mine shaft. Couldn't hurt to investigate. You haven't spent too much time in Northshire Valley. You take off another spy. They're kind of strong, but you manage to knock them down a peg. You keep heading over. Oh, there's a goblin here too. Short, in dark clothing, with 2 daggers just waiting. You decide to take them out. this one's a lot tougher than the previous ones. It goes down and drops some more money for you. Looking closer, it was a female goblin. They're sending in all the troops. Though there are goblins and orcs invading Northshire Valley, they're not wearing any clothes of the Horde. No indication that they're from the opposing faction. So while they're still a threat, they are not your true enemy overall. But they're invading your homeland, so you're going to take them out. As you knock down this one, you feel yourself grow stronger. You've advanced in level. You approach the mine shaft and realize that the gate is closed, barring entry. You think to yourself, this didn't used to be closed off. What could have happened? Was there a cave-in? Is the mine no longer safe? Or have the kobolds that used to live in the cave, in the mine shaft, did they just die out? You look inside. You see some bones, a few carts. Curiously, there are still lanterns lit, but with the gate in the way, you cannot investigate any further. You turn around. You have one more warg to slay. You make your way back, past the campfire that you passed on the way to the mine. Find one more warg, and you take them out. Another rabbit's foot. With your task being complete, you head back to the cathedral. We talk to Marshal McBride again. You've bought us a little time, Bad Reactor, but we've got even bigger problems to deal with now. As a reward for your hard efforts, you've been given a pair of gloves. 5 armor. That's better than the gloves you have right now, which don't exist. You also get 50 copper pieces. You could do a lot with this. Marshal McBride has another task for you, though, because your work as a hero will never be finished. The invading orcs aren't fools. They are sizing us up, making sure that when they attack, it will be to their advantage. In the forest to the northwest are Blackrock spies. They peer at us through spyglasses, watching our every move, waiting. I want you to take the fight to them. Kill the Blackrock spies. We must show them that we know they are watching us and that we are prepared. Well, you've already found some of the spies and eliminated them, but you can tell that there are still at least 8 more that he wants you to kill. You make your way over to a spy and get back to work. The spy goes down hard. You go to the next one. He's hiding in a bush behind a tree. You didn't suspect a thing until you smacked him in the face with your hammer. You continue your onslaught. One yells, "Eat you!" He didn't eat you. He fell to your hammer. Curiously, the next orc yells the same thing. They really want to eat you. This one drops 5 copper. an improvement over the one from the last guy. This one also yells at you. His spiky hair shows that he's very angry. He goes down. You turn, and noticing there are no more in the immediate vicinity, you run over to the next one, back toward the mine. Blackrock take forest! He screams. No, they don't, I say. You take this one by surprise. She doesn't have a chance to speak. As that 7th orc falls, you feel yourself grow stronger. You feel a new ability. Judgment. How fitting for a warrior of the light. You decide to stand right where you are and use it on a spy off in the distance. You throw a glowing hammer at it. He runs over to you, only to be felled with one more swipe from your hammer. With the 8th and final spy being defeated, you once again make your way back to Marshall McBride. On foot. Slowly. I don't think anyone playing WoW Classic in 3 days will remember how slow the first 40 levels are.
Light be with you.
You speak to Marshall McBride. Excellent work, Bad Reactor. You've turned out to be quite an asset to this garrison. It's time for you to train. As a reward for your effort in quelling the spies, you get a belt, which, just like the gloves, is much better than the one you had before, which was non-existent.
Be careful.
You also get 40 copper. You've now got 1 silver and 20 copper worth of money. Almost enough to actually buy a spell, maybe. Of course, sidebar, this is Battle for Azeroth, so
What can I do for you?
you don't have to buy spells.
Or the Alliance?
But in Classic, at this point, you would have gotten the quest to enter Northshire Abbey and spend all the money you just made killing things on one spell. So look forward to that in 3 days. The halls of the Abbey echo. You look around inside. You have 2 Alliance banners, blue with a gold lion on them. 3 busts of statues are immediately inside the entrance, facing you as you walk in. There are stairs leading up to an attic. I'm sure we'll get to explore that later. For the meantime, with nothing to do in the Abbey, you walk back outside. Marshall McBride is giving you another quest. I received an urgent message from Sergeant Willem. Turns out that the Blackrock Orcs have hired goblin assassins. They ambushed our battalion behind the Abbey. Willem has asked me to send him a hero. You have to go help them, Bad Reactor. Find Sergeant Wilhelm north of the Abbey at the command tent. Go! You go around the left side of the Abbey, and you see a small blue tent with a flagpole holding up another one of the blue banners that you saw inside the Abbey, with the gold Alliance emblem of the lion's head. You walk up to Sergeant Willem, who is looking up, not at the mine shaft, but to the right of it, through a spyglass.
Hey there.
It's true. We were ambushed. I don't dare send any more soldiers out there and risk losing them too. I need a volunteer. Someone willing to risk their life.
Safe travel.
Have you ever seen a goblin bad reactor? They're wretched little green-skinned monsters that love only two things: gold and themselves. The Blackrock Orcs have enlisted the aid of goblin assassins to kill our soldiers. If you look to the field in the north, you can barely make out their silhouettes sneaking about in the grass. I need you to head out there and kill every goblin you see. They need to learn that nobody messes with the Alliance. You accept his quest, and notice that Brother Paxton is standing about 20 yards from the tent. You approach him,
Need something?
and he has a task for you as well. Have you ever embraced the Holy Light yet, brother? It is through the Holy Light that we are saved. It is through the Holy Light that I am able to heal those overly demanding soldiers. And it is through the Holy Light that you will be able to venture out into the field to the north and rescue our fallen brothers. Take this prayer book with you into the field and cast the light's healing touch on the injured. Who could say no to that plea? After all, you're a paladin. Wielding the Holy Light is one of your defining traits. You make your way past a few Stormwind guards in full armor who are taking down wargs slower than you were, wearing a cloth shirt. Interesting. You make your way back over to the goblin assassins. You strike them with your glowing hammer. The first one goes down. Next to it, you see an injured Stormwind infantry troop. You use the prayer book, and he happily exclaims, "I live to fight another day!" Excellent. You see more assassins sneaking around. You approach them and take them out. You make your way to another injured Stormwind infantry. The cone of light swirls above him. I'm okay! I'm okay! You see a goblin assassin off in the distance, but just before them is another injured Stormwind infantry. The cone of light erupts above them. Your bad reactor, the hero that everyone has been talking about. Thank you! There's 3 of them so far. You quickly approach the goblin assassin that was lurking behind him. With a few swift hits, you quickly vanquish your foe. Another one sneaking around, saying, "Time to join your friends, kissing the dirt!" Not today, goblin. Not today. The assassin goes down without too much of a fight. And with that, you use the prayer book one final time to heal the injured guard. You go back to killing the goblins, knowing that all the guards around you are safe. The 5th goblin falls with a cry. The 6th one falls, and at this point you notice you've almost reached the mountains in the back of the valley. So it's time to turn and follow them a little bit toward the river, where you can see other campsites where the goblins are lurking. You spy another goblin. It screams, "Die!" You assume it was talking about itself, and you quickly take it out. You make your way past the campsite, heading back toward the Abbey. One more goblin assassin to go. With a few swift hits of your hammer, it goes down without too much of a fight. And with that, your task is completed. You make your way back toward the blue tent with the Alliance banner. In front of the tent is a table, which is more 3 planks of wood set atop 2 barrels. A book and a candle sit atop it, with 2 ornate chairs sitting behind it. You assume that that's where Sergeant Willem takes his breaks. To the right of the desk are 3 armor stands with chainmail on them. And right behind that are 2 weapon stands. One with a longsword and a pike, and the rear one with 2 blunderbusses. You make your way to Sergeant Willem.
Good day to you.
And you speak with him. That will teach those monsters. They'll think twice before taking another mercenary job for orcs. For this quest, you receive a pair of outfitter's boots, which are much better than your squire's boots, as they actually offer 1 more armor. At least you were wearing boots this time. You turn that quest in, and he gives you another one. Excellent work, Bad Reactor. The rear is now officially clear. We'll take care of the stragglers. I want you to go back to Marshal McBride, standing in front of Northshire Abbey, south of here, and let him know that the goblin situation is under control. Farewell, Paladin. With that quest, you go back to Brother Paxton to turn in your quest for healing the injured soldiers. I think that you understand the power of the light. The light giveth hope, brother, and the light taketh from the darkness. Blessed be the light! For this quest, you receive a wolf hunter's vest and 50 copper. Ooh. And with that, you feel the power surge through you as you gain another level. With that quest complete, you turn back around and head south toward the entrance to the Abbey, and your good friend, Marshal McBride.
Need help?
You talk to him. With your help, we have managed to secure the northern and western sectors of Northshire. We still have a rather large contingency of Blackrock orcs to the east, and they've begun burning down the forest. The orcs have begun burning down the forest, Bad Reactor. They have taken over the vineyard to the east and are planning their final assault against us. They must be stopped. Head east, across the river, and kill the rampaging Blackrock orcs. Collect their weapons as proof of their demise, and return to me. You're our only hope, Bad Reactor. As you turn to head across the bridge over the river, you see a woman standing in front of the Abbey. Millie Osworth. She has a job for you as well.
Hey there.
Times like these make me long for when the Defias were still around. The Cataclysm has opened a pathway from the burning steppes, and now Blackrock orcs pour into Northshire Valley. They have taken over my vineyard and are burning it to the ground. To the ground! Please, Bad Reactor, that vineyard is all I have. Take my fire extinguisher and extinguish the flames of the vineyard. There still might be hope for that land. How could you say no to a plea like that? And so, you make your way around the Abbey, past a blue tent, which, while identical to the other blue tent, actually has 2 people sitting at it.
Well met.
The people you were supposed to register with when you first got here Whoops. You pass that. You pass the tent with them. To the right, there's a training ring with target dummies. If you really wanted to practice, you could go hit them a few times, but we don't have time for that. You pass the right side of the abbey, passing the graveyard that resides there. Normally it would be spooky since it's a graveyard at night, but you're sure that the warlock and demon trainers there would keep any evil at bay, right? At long last, you've come to the bridge, and you see the vineyard burning in the distance. Luckily, Millie has outfitted you with 2 tanks of water on your back. You approach the vineyard. And as you do so, you begin to put out fires. Interestingly enough, there's orcs still in the vineyard. Some of them still standing in the flames that you set up. You begin taking them out as per Marshal McBride's quest. You get 1 Blackrock Orc weapon. You make your way to the next fire and complete with its orc that set it. You try not to stand in the fire yourself because fire bad. You keep extinguishing the fires. Another invader comes at you. A bald female orc with a stick with 3 spikes attached to it. A dangerous weapon, but your hammer makes quick work of her. On to the next fire. You use your water gun, I guess, because that's what it is. It looks like a super soaker. You put that fire out, you approach the next orc. The vineyard, once green and lush with grapevines and I want to say it used to have other things too, is now just scorched. The earth is brown, barren, and shows black scorch marks all over. The few remaining grapevines are brown, scorched, still hints of green, but otherwise useless. What a shame that has happened to this place. Unlike the trees that surrounded the rest of the valley, the trees surrounding the vineyard are completely burned. Some of them are still even on fire.
It's too far
Luckily,
away.
in the distance, the outhouses are still in one piece. You approach another invader, and he yells, "The grapes were very tasty!" Well, at least they got used before they got destroyed. You take him out, and approach the next one. This one also remarks on the tastiness of the grapes. If only the orcs were all drunk and passed out. Wouldn't that be wonderful? He goes down and you continue on. Around the outskirts of the vineyard are also what appear to be Blackrock jail things. Essentially, a large stake in the ground with metal spikes protruding out of it and shackles hanging from them. You don't want these orcs to get you. You make your way to another invader on the other side of the shackle stake. She goes down. Noticing that you really have to put out some of these fires, you return to the vineyard and continue your firefighting skills. You avoid the orcs in the area because you've killed the ones you need to kill, but you still decide to go after some of them for the mad XP. At, you know, level 4. This Blackrock Invader... Oh, it looked like he didn't drop anything, but rooting around in his pockets, you see that he did, in fact, drop 3 copies. This male orc has spiky hair and a spiky stick thing. He thinks he's a real rock star. He goes down. With your fires extinguished and your orcs killed, you make your way through the burning vineyards back toward the bridge. You got a small blue pouch. That will come in handy, considering your limited backpack space. You cross the bridge, and you're back into friendly territory. Well, except for the wargs, and goblins, and orcs. But for the most part, there are people here that you like. You pass the graveyard, and make your way back toward the entrance of the Abbey. You see Millie Osworth in the distance. You should talk to her first.
Hello.
Bless your heart, Bad Reactor. You're truly our hero of the Alliance. Though the land is completely incinerated, and there is nothing left of the vineyard but ash and debris, I still might be able to recover. Right? How bad can it be? For your effort, she rewards you with a grape-picking sack, another bag, and a wine-stained cloak to replace the one that you weren't wearing.
See you later.
With your job for her done, you put on the cloak, and now you're stylish. Almost like a superhero. Almost. You make your way back to Marshall McBride.
What can I do for you?
Have you killed the rampaging orc hordes? Why, yes, I have. The Blackrock orcs will surely fall now that their main force has been defeated. Only one task remains.
For the Alliance.
Good. The rampaging orc horde is led by a savage beast known as Kurtok the Slayer. Kurtok is responsible for the recent invasion and must be killed if we are to have peace in the valley. Venture back east, across the river, and through the vineyard, and look for the passage leading into the mountains. Kurtok will be there, preparing for another assault. Kill him and return to me. Well, who could argue with a request like that? I mean, clearly, once you end the invasion, you're good to go, right? And so, you make your way back past the graveyard toward the bridge. Between the tops of the trees, you can see the starry night sky. It's peaceful, aside from the burning vineyard and the assassins and everything else. You decide to splash around in the stream a little bit. It's fun. As you head down toward where their Kurtok the Slayer lives, you can see the waterfall at the end of the river. Clearly they didn't come Clearly they didn't come in the valley from up there. Then where? As you make your way through the burning wreckage that once was a beautiful forest, you see your foe in the distance. next to two of those spiky shackle things, and a larger post showing the banner of the Blackrock Orcs. An orange banner with a fiery mountain in the center, eerily reminiscent of the mountain that you know lies just to the north. Kurtok the Slayer runs towards you, as well as the priest, Brinks, who has appeared alongside you to also defeat him. Working together, you both swiftly take him out. And then you turn around to run back to the Abbey, where Marshal McBride will be thoroughly pleased that you have completed your task. You run through the long grass on the edges of the stream, ignoring the bridge this time, just choosing instead to run through the water and get your shiny new boots wet. What a delightful time to be alive. You make your way past the graveyard again, and toward the blue tent in the front of the Abbey. Behind the tent is a rabbit. Well, at least the wargs didn't find that one. You approach Marshal McBride, hopefully for the last time. With Kurtok slain, we are safe once again from the Orcish hordes. I will send peasants to the pass in an attempt to seal the passage so that no more orcs may come through into our territory. You have the thanks of Stormwind and of the Alliance, hero. He gives you the option to choose between a two-handed militia warhammer and a one-handed militia hammer. Hoping to be a paladin similar to the great Arthas Menethil before his fall, you decide to opt for the militia warhammer, which gives you an extra 0.3 damage per second. You complete the quest, and you feel yourself grow stronger. You are now level 5, and you have gained an ability, Flash of Light, which expends a large amount of mana to quickly heal a friendly target for 62 health. Marshal McBride has handed you your final task. He wants you to report to Goldshire. Bad Reactor, you are a paladin with proven interest in the security of Northshire. You are now tasked with the protection of the surrounding Elwyn Forest. If you accept this duty, then I have prepared papers that must be delivered to Marshal Duggan in Northshire and Goldshire. Goldshire lies along the southern road, past the border gates. Seeing that no one else in Northshire Valley, or Northshire Abbey have anything else for you to do, you opt to turn around and follow the road that leads to the wall protecting the valley. You see a fork in the road. You make a left and pass underneath the arch in the stone and wood archway. You see, after you've gone through it, that the other fork in the road led to an identical arch on the other side. So it didn't really matter which way you chose. You continue on and make a left to exit the valley. And upon exiting it, and seeing the main forest in all of its foresty glory, woodland glory, you come across a man named Falcon Isenstrider, who seems to have something for you to do.
Hello.
Every adventurer should rest when exhaustion sets in, and there is no finer place to rest and relaxation than at the Lion's Pride Inn. My best friend, Innkeeper Farley, runs the Lion's Pride. If you tell him I sent you, he may give you the special discounted tastes on food and drink. To find the Lion's Pride Inn, travel south along the road from here. You can't miss it. You accept his generous offer and continue down the road. As you go down the road, on the left, you can see another wall, which upon closer inspection is made just to protect Northshire Valley from the rest of Elwyn Forest, and to cover the river that runs through the valley and allow it to continue going down to a lake that sits right next to Goldshire. You continue down the road with the river running to your left, passing fences and lanterns lighting the path. You see a house off to the right of the path in the distance. Surely nothing strange could be going down there. As you see Goldshire come into view, you grow excited at the prospect of continuing your journey. And as you approach the city, or town, you can see that it is full of people. Many different kinds of people. Humans, dwarves, gnomes, Branai, and half-clothed night elves just running around throughout. This is clearly the central hub that you will want to spend a lot of time in. You spy Marshal Duggan outside of what appears to be the blacksmith. You have word from McBride. Northshire is a garden compared to Elwyn Forest, but I wonder what Marshal McBride has to report. Here, let me have his papers. Well, it says here that you've been awarded acting deputy status with the Stormwind Marshals. Congratulations. And good luck. Keeping Elwyn safe is no picnic. But with most the army busy doing who knows what for who knows which noble, it's hard to keep track of politics in these dark days. He gives you an option to choose between a pikeman shield or the pikeman trousers, and since you already have a two-handed weapon, you know you can't equip the shield. So you opt for the trousers, which will increase your armor by 2 points.
Light bless you.
You turn in that quest, and turn around to approach the inn. You go inside the inn. It's full of joyous music. A fire's going in the fireplace, with a Hearthstone board, and a Hearthstone board on one table, and the other table covered in ale, dishes for hot meals to be served in, and just a bunch of different people walking around. Clearly, this could be a home. Or at least an inn, where you could stay for a little bit. You see Innkeeper Farley. You walk over and talk to him. He's a middle-aged man with no hair on the top of his head.
You need something?
Yes, I do need something, Innkeeper Farley. Rest and relaxation for the tired and cold. That's our motto. Please, take a seat by the fire and rest your weary bones. Would you like to try a sampling of some of our fine food and drink? As a reward for meeting him. I don't know why he's rewarding you for meeting him. He gives you a pair of Goldshire iron bracers for your wrists. You can also get a small pumpkin to restore some of your health, or some refreshing spring water to restore your mana.
See you around.
You complete the quest, and with that you have food, drink, a warm fire, and everything you could possibly need in the World of Warcraft. Clearly. And for now, that is where we will end this journey. Now, this is just one example of what I'm trying to do with this channel, and obviously Classic's going to be a slightly different experience. But if you like what I've done here, and this is my first time recording this kind of video, so leave some feedback. If you liked it, follow me, subscribe, and yeah, in a few days, WoW Classic will launch, and after the inevitable long logging queues, I will be able to start doing this, well, every day pretty much until I hit 60. So thank you for joining me, thank you for watching this video, and see you in a few days.